Have you ever wondered why it is so difficult to be honest with the people you love? The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. If I ask you, what does it mean to be living an authentic life? How would you define that? Do you have a set of characteristics that you just check off? Do you have more of just a general statement that I am living my authentic life? These are the things that I live by. These are the creeds that I use to live my life by. Therefore, I am authentic. And I hear people using that I'm trying to live my authentic self. And it's an easy statement to make. It's an easy declaration to make. But sometimes the follow through on that isn't always as easy as we hope it would be. And I have been circling around with friends. How do we define a friend? And then I naturally go to honesty. What does honesty look like in a friendship? What does honesty look like in living your authentic life? And I know from my own relationships and from having discussions with friends that honesty is a trait and a characteristic that we often intentionally seek in others, meaning we want someone to be honest. But what does that really mean? Because being honest often means that you have to say the difficult things. You have to have the difficult conversations, the courageous conversations. That if you want somebody to be honest with you, you have to be honest with those people as well. And I don't know that we're really prepared for that. Again, we want a partner who is going to be honest with us. I am really going to push back on that because so many of us don't want to hear someone else's opinion. We don't want to hear the hard truths. We don't want to hear the hard stuff. So you don't really want honesty. None of us want to say the hard truths, the way we really feel. So you don't want honesty. But what do you really want? I find it interesting that, again, a lot of us will have honesty on our scorecard. That a good friendship, a good partnership, a good family dynamic is based on honesty. And yet, the people that are closest to us, those are the people that usually we have the most difficulty in being honest to. I have personally had my own interactions with strangers, and I have witnessed other people in public. And oftentimes it's really a lot easier to be honest with people we don't know because we have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose in that interaction if we say our truth, if we speak how we really feel, because we don't have any connection to them. They can't hurt us, and we have lost nothing if we openly communicate how we feel. And then when we are around the people that we love and care about, everybody wants to tiptoe around the truth. nobody wants to say it. Because we have everything to lose. We have our family, we have the relationship. And oftentimes we're afraid to tell somebody else what we feel because we are afraid that they're going to be honest with us. And we don't want to hear it. We are afraid to really know what people think. So why is it that we think we want honesty in a relationship? Why is that on the scorecard? I mean, I'm asking a serious question here. Because I've had discussions, I've looked at my own relationships, and everybody that is in this intimate setting, this intimate orb and sphere, we don't want to hear the truth. We don't want to say the truth. We don't want to say how we really feel. We just want to pretend that everything is fine. And I don't know if we actually know how to speak our feelings in ways that do not feel attacking. How do we communicate in ways that it doesn't feel like the other person is being attacked? And how do we receive communication in ways where we can actually receive it? And I will hear people and they really want this great relationship. They want this partner in crime and they want this person that they can really build a life on. But both people are unwilling to speak the truth, to be able to receive the truth. If you want to speak the truth, you have to be in turn ready to receive that same difficult information. What does honesty look like to you? How do you define what it means to be honest in a relationship? This is important for us to know what that means to us, because a lot of times people will have honesty on their bingo card, but yet each one of us would have a different way of defining what it means to be honest. How important is that for you? And I know when I have reflected on my relationships and I've sat in the circle of friends and we talk about the scenarios where we have been lied to and that someone was being dishonest about what they were doing with their time, who they were communicating with, their extracurricular activities, and there was dishonesty. And so in turn, we just kind of flippantly throw out this, I need honesty on my bingo card. But on the flip side of that is, are you truly prepared for those honest words? Are you truly prepared to hear, I don't know if I still love you. I don't know if I can continue this life that we have created. I don't know if I am attracted to you. Again, we see this all-encompassing word, but what does it really mean to you? And the more that I kind of look at this through the lens that I don't know if we really want full honesty and transparency in our close relationships, because we have so much to lose saying those difficult words. We have a lot to lose if we tell somebody how we actually feel. And what if they walk away? We have so much to lose if somebody tells us how they really feel about us. And then we have the hurt and we have the pain to navigate through. The embarrassment, the shame, all of these things that, let's be real. It would be easier if we didn't have to deal with them. It would be easier if everything just flowed along perfectly. And I'm trying to decide for myself, it's like, okay, so who gets the honest information? Is it only the people that can handle it? So we go through this checklist of, we know this person isn't in a great emotional state, so they get a sanitized version. Or is it this person is really strong, so they get to know the truth? Or is it, I don't really care if this person's in my life, so I'm just going to be blunt? When I start to reflect on who I have those conversations with, it's interesting when I personally evaluate my own intuition and choices. Oftentimes in the moment, I can be very blunt and direct, and it wasn't necessarily something I had intended upon saying, but in the moment, I blurted out. And why is that? And it's interesting too, when I reflect on the environments that so many of us have, the environments that we were raised in definitely has shaped our behaviors. I was a child who would just blurt things out. And I was often reprimanded. I was often criticized for saying the things. And as a child, I didn't see the impact. I didn't see the hurt. I didn't understand, but it was just like a fact that this is what is happening and this is what I see. And there was no intention to be mean. There was no intention to hurt somebody. And so why does the truth hurt us? Why have we got to a point where we don't want to hear the truth? And then I see people who have a difficult time speaking their truth and being honest, and how hard it must be to be in a relationship where you never feel like you can really speak what's in your heart, that you are living in this cage, and how it must be difficult to try to overcome that. And sometimes the truth is, I really don't know how I feel. And I will often not say things because I don't have clarity on how I really do feel about something. And do I have to have feelings about something? Do I have to have feelings about everything? And if somebody is doing something that doesn't personally hurt me, do I have to take action? And where is that line? Do you know what honesty means to you? Because I've really had to try to reflect on that. Where does that fall in me living my authentic life? If I want to be authentic and I want to show up to the world in my authentic self, do I have to be honest with everyone about who I am? And does it really matter? Is that really aligned with being authentic? Do you have to know who I am, or is it that I have to know who I am? Who gets the real you? Who gets the sanitized version of you? Who gets the authentic you? Is honesty really on your bingo card? Or do we just say that because it feels like we should? It should be a characteristic, a behavior that we want to strive for. What does it mean to be honest? And are you showing up in your relationships and being honest? Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at more Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.